everyone, it's Parmita from Tahdig, and today I'll be showing you how I make my Napa Cabbage kimchi. For this recipe, you will be needing carrots, spring onions, also some daikon radish as well, and then Napa Cabbage too. So for the Napa Cabbage, you will be pretty much cutting it in half and then cutting it in half again. So down the middle and then down the middle one more time as well, so you pretty much quarter the Napa Cabbage. Afterwards, you could either leave your Napa Cabbage in whole if they're smaller Napa Cabbages, or if they're larger like the ones in this video, you can go ahead and give it a rough chop. Afterwards, go ahead and pour your Napa Cabbage into a large bowl because we'll be layering it with a good amount of salt, because that salt is going to sit with the Napa Cabbage for about an hour or two to get the excess liquids out of it. So while you're layering your cabbage and the salt, make sure you're really mixing it thoroughly because you need that salt to be covered on every single piece of cabbage. Moving on to your daikon radishes. So for these, you're gonna need really thin slices at first. So I use the mandolin for mine. I go ahead and get them super thin, and then afterwards I julienne them. I would say most of the kimchi that I've seen and ate do have the carrots and the radishes in this shape, but at the end of the day, I don't think you have to julienne them. You can just have them in any shape you would like to. Go ahead and do that with your carrots as well. Just be super careful. It's pretty dangerous using the mandolin. I've pretty much cut myself a million times with it, so be super careful when you're doing that step. So also one thing to mention, I am using quite a few amounts of ingredients in this video. As you can see, you don't have to use this much. I am making 3 64-ounce jars of kimchi, and I like to have that much in my fridge at all times, but I'll go ahead and write a smaller serving recipe and put that on my website for you guys as well. So you're gonna go ahead and chop up your spring onions however you'd like, and then afterwards you can move on to your next step. So right here I'm using Asian chives. I just figured it would be really good with my kimchi. This is definitely an optional step, and you do not have to add this to your recipe. Now this is my favorite step in the entire process. So you'll be making the kimchi paste at this point. You'll be using garlic, pears, and ginger. I'm using Asian pears as well. I think they're Korean to be exact. To make the kimchi paste, you will need to blend all of these ingredients, the pears, the ginger, and the garlic, with brown sugar, soy sauce, salt. You can use fish sauce if you'd like, or shrimp powder. So one way of preventing excess liquids forming inside of your kimchi is actually making a rice starch water. So it'll kind of turn into a thick consistency while you're boiling the water and the rice starch for a little bit, and then what you're going to do is mix that with your pear and ginger paste. After an hour of your cabbage sitting with the salt, you can go ahead and wash it thoroughly and make sure you dry it really well. And then afterwards, you can go ahead and mix it with all of your other ingredients in a large bowl. So before you add your paste to your cabbage, you need to make sure you've seasoned your paste and added the main ingredients to it. So what we're going to do is actually go ahead and put the rice starch that we made a few minutes ago and slowly add that in with the paste. You can add more as you go. And then afterwards, you're going to add your gochugaru, which is your Korean pepper. That is going to be the most important part for this recipe, because without it, you wouldn't have kimchi. When it comes to the spice level, you can adjust this as you go depending on how spicy you would like your kimchi to be. I like mild kimchi, so I'm gonna add less of the pepper. Gonna add a little bit more of that rice starch to kind of thicken that consistency, because like I said, you don't want any liquid to form in your jars afterwards. Once you've made your paste, go ahead and add your chives, your spring onions, carrots, daikon, radish to your Napa cabbage. Mix it really well, and then go ahead and add your paste to it as well. After you're done mixing your kimchi really well, you can go ahead and add it all inside your jar. It's important to press down your kimchi when you're filling it in your jar as you go, because you want to prevent air bubbles from forming afterwards. Once you're finished, you're going to want to keep this in a dry and dark place like a pantry for about 4 to 7 days, and then transfer it into your fridge. And one huge tip is when you're closing your mason jar, make sure the lid isn't closed all the way, because it will explode if you do close it. I'll go ahead and write down in the description box the small portion for the cabbage and the large portion for the recipes. But besides that, I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and also follow my Instagram page at golden.tahdig. Thank you.